Yep.
Hi, welcome to Carmance, a story about cars, their owners, and the romance between them. I'm Jen Gatch.
And I'm Stephen Horowitz, and today we're here to see this 1936 Bentley Thrupp Maberly owned by our club members, Stephen and Sally Styers.
Today we're joined by a fun and fascinating couple married over 64 years. They tell me their adventure started in the 1950s when they met as students at Kalamazoo College in Michigan. Over the next few years, Steve found and purchased the 1953 MG TD. They were married in 1956 and drove the MG from Michigan to Fort Dix, New Jersey, about 700 miles, where Steve was stationed in the U.S. Army. They have often thought about why they drove that car. It was Steve's job at age 20 to drive home alone, but at the time it was difficult to find a knowledgeable mechanic and parts if needed. They thought nothing of it, and gratefully all went well. Cars and car clubs have always been a part of their lives. They have friends from all over the world. Currently, Steve belongs to 13 car clubs, all with wonderful club members who I assure you would say the same about them. Steve had an interest in all sorts of cars, especially the sporty. MG was sold when expecting their third child, and other marquees have been purchased and enjoyed since. They purchased a 1930 Ford truck, a 1966 Morgan plus 4, needing a full body off full restoration. Steve did it and kept it for 35 years. They have had over the years 3 Lotuses, a Triumph, a Jaguar, a Model A Ford truck, and a Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce was fabulous for 20 years until they decided to sell it for a Bentley, which would be sportier. This is the 1936. Sally wants me to add about their great love. They have 3 children and 8 grandchildren. They lead an exciting life full of parties, family, friends, travel, music, and theater. Also, everyone enjoys Steve's ability at any time to turn any gathering into an impromptu poetry slam.
All right, so say these are original dealer and nameplates. And it's Thrupp and Maberly Limited, and it was sold by Vincent's of Reading Limited.
The trunk that you already saw.
So these are pictures taken during the restoration.
The restoration required an immense amount of work and research, learning about the car with the help of experts from around the world, and through the Bentley Derby Society, a club of Derby owners, created an authentic guide for this marquee.
This is the Derby Bentley Authenticity Guide that was developed
For this marquee.
for this mark. It was developed for this mark. And flip through some of the pages to show, and this helps any Bentley
Derby
owner.
Or restoration
Yeah, they
shop.
pronounce it Derby.
It's a Derby.
And it's so while they're restoring cars, they go by this guide to see exactly how the parts go.
It is the only such publication of any variety of Rolls-Royce or Bentley
So
automobiles.
Steve, tell us about this
All right.
fender.
When I got it, this was all frayed. This had been sanded through. So I had to build a new piece in here. So I get sheet aluminum, and with hand and with a roller, I made this new piece and then welded it in, and that's what you see today.
Yeah, it looks perfectly smooth.
And I can...
So this was when you welded the piece
This
in.
is the piece that I made and welded in to the fender.
Right, and here.
And that's how it looks today.
perfect. So tell us about the woodwork inside this car.
When I purchased the car, all the veneer through water soak had fallen off the baseboard. So I had to redo all the veneer and also rebuild. I'll open the door perhaps to show a little better. But the side posts and the top were gone. There was not one full piece left. So all of this is new. The bottom was here, this was here, but not the top and not the sides. The top and the sides I carved out of a beam of walnut, which I still have the remnants of. Trimmed.
So this is the piece of walnut
Carved this out.
that you were able to
Those
cut.
sides, I'd like to show you this. It opens up. It is meant to carry a trunk. They didn't schlep suitcases back then. It was for a chest. And that's held on put these up, the chest went here, and then you could put your chest and strap it down. The problem was that the dirt and the rubble and the rain would go in here. So Thrupp and Maberly designed this. It comes down before you do that, and then those lock, and your trunk seals it.
Unbelievable.
When I purchased the car, Steve, this was gone. It was not here.
Oh.
There's no blueprint for it. There's no design for it. But there's a fella in Georgia that had one, and he photographed it. And from the photographs, in about 60 days, this is all aluminum that I welded together, plus supported with plywood underneath. And
Beautiful.
it stores back in here like that. But it was not there. That's all new stuff.
Now, does this, it looks like this opens up. This,
Yeah.
does
Now-
that open?
But for Lake Michigan people, you photograph in here on the 19th of August 2001. People returned this Thrupp and Maberly body number 6397 to its original chassis. And everybody that helped carry the body from the shed to the garage and placed it on the frame, I had them sign it here. So it will always be recorded as to who actually helped carry the body back. And you'll see them there. Brad Hudson is there, and
Well, we see
the
Neil,
pole vault, Neil Henry,
and Wally,
all of those people.
Wally Rupert.
Wally Rupert and Alan DeRoss, Jerry, they're both deceased now. But their name, here's Marilyn White. So it's recorded, people, and what they contributed to the hobby. Match the gas filler handle. And that opens. And then you fill it in here. And that cover that you just saw inside keeps the fuel, if there's any splash or whatever, from going into the trunk, the boot, if it would.
So, Steve, tell us about this
The
armrest.
seat with two spring steel bands that will collapse as you close it,
What if you were to shoot it? Yeah, okay.
like so.
All right, so we'd like
The
it
impressive
as-
thing is that when it's down, it looks like it's permanent because there's a full pleated back for the whole thing.
What's mostly going to be Steve? She could be in the car.
Very nice.
But I can assure you it was
Beautiful.
not like that when I bought it.
Right.
Two or three coming.
So this car has lots of pickup.
It's a fast car.
Yeah, it's very fast. Well, Bentley always made sports cars.
I think Steve told me it'll go over 90 miles an hour.
Wow.
I
Oh.
don't want to be in it when it does.
And here the trafficator just popped out.
Yeah, we have to turn. That's what this is supposed to be. It's too windy, they would bring on.
Oh, do you have regular turn signals in addition? So Steve, show us the engine and give us a little description.
Turn this.
So we turn the hood ornament. So tell us about the engine.
All right, the engine's a 4 1/4 liter, straight six. Some interesting features on it. The block, the undercarriage is all the same as a 2530 Rolls-Royce. However, to enhance the sporting image of the Bentley, they completely changed the head. They raised the compression ratio, modified the camshaft, made a cross-flow head so that dual carburetors go through and exhaust the other side. Highly modified over the Rolls-Royce. It's about 15 or 20 miles an hour faster than a comparable Rolls-Royce. Interesting features are there are 2 coils in case one fails. Typically British, they don't figure out how to keep them from failing. They just say, okay, it's going to fail. And then you can change coils by simply unplug this and then reach up and plug in the other one and plug this one in down there. Change the wire, all with hands, no tools required. You can actually go to another coil. As a matter of fact, it happened down at Jen Gage's horse show last fall. One of the coils went out and I changed it. Another thing, they have dual fuel pumps. One fuel pump is sufficient, but they put 2 fuel pumps. In case one does fail, you can switch back and forth, or both of them, either way you want. The story confirmed for real. Rolls-Royce bought Bentley in 1931. 1933, they finally came out with this car called the Derby Bentley, and it turned out to be quite a successful car. However, the executives from Rolls-Royce wanted to come and see this new Bentley, so they came out to take a drive. Unfortunately, while they were driving, the front bumper fell off. The bumper on their car fell off, got stuck in the front wheel, dumped the car into the ditch. Well, so the story goes, they said, Rolls-Royce bumpers don't fall off. We're not going to have that kind of thing for a Bentley. So rather than figuring out how to keep the bumper from falling off, they designed these. These are standard equipment, this and here. These are bumper hooks. So when the bumper does fall off, which they concede that it will, it won't fall in and get tangled in the front wheel. So it's just so typically British that these are called bumper hooks, and they were retrofitted. The bumper is a Wilmot Breeden bumper that's actually a spring with lead weights in each end to dampen any vibration in the chassis.
Plus, that dampens any bumps. If the bumper hits something, it'll spring right back instead of denting like a modern bumper.
Yeah, that's right. They actually, they're part of the chassis to reduce the vibration.
This is 1936 vintage
These are
wheel
acorn
weights.
nuts that come off, and there's a post then that goes in here and a series of lead washers that go in. To balance the tires, they would put it on a wobble plate and then add those washers until the wheel balanced. Now that didn't accommodate the dynamic, but the static balance, and it helped a lot. But those are actually balance weights.
Yeah, so it's better than hammering in lead weights to the rim of the wheel. This is when the car was in the Geneva Concours d'Elegance. And this is Steve's first car, his 1953 MGT. So this is Stephen Styers' 1930 Studebaker President Opera Coupe. And that box over there is for the top hat for the gentleman. This is where the ladies would sit. And this seat goes forward so the ladies' dress has plenty of room. It has the beautiful bud vases and curtains.
That's when the Bentley started.
We'll ask Steve which one he wants to.
We've had 3 Lotuses, and this is number 3. We had a Europa, and we had a
Which model is this one?
+4.
Okay.
And